Kiwi, good morning. Sorry, I was just swallowing my vitamins. I've been up, I've just done some chores, I'm having my coffee. So, I know I said I was working on the Amber Wilkinson School of Witchcraft and Flung Shoe Master, and I kind of have. I've come a little bit further. It's one of the reasons why I'm so quiet because I'm busy planning my future, planning my school in Switzerland. So, but because I'm an observer and I'm inspired by everyone, my the time jumping detective TV series, which is going to be like our version of Doctor Who. Hang on, remember if I go quiet, I'm having a sip. It was originally supposed to be just him. I haven't come up with a name for his character yet. I haven't come up with his backstory, but I know that he's a private detective. He's a detective and he gets put on cases that are strange and unusual, and he kind of is going to have a connection to Theo Lazarus from the Soul Collector because he's also a private detective. But Theo is a private detective for the underworld. But the time travelling detective is a detective for, well, they both work for the Ministry of Souls. But whereas Theo is a private eye for the underworld, like he goes into the underbelly of crime. He also sometimes works with TC Draco, who is my like my version of Ice Cube. He was a rapper who became an actor, who works for the Ministries of Souls undercover, who investigates crimes involving the music and movie industry. So I should come out with a range of merchandise just saying sip. um, so yeah, so sometimes they team up. Um, TC Draco is black, so whoever plays his character is going to have to be black. He's going to have to look like your archetypal former gangster turn actor because he's modelled after Ice Cube, and I love Ice Cube. I grew up with Ice Cube in NWA and that, and I love him as an actor. I have a lot of respect for him. He's been married to the same woman for 100 years, and yeah, I have a lot of respect for him. So I kind of modelled a character after him, and a little bit of Ice-T because I also grew up with Ice-T. He made a lot of money in property, like he's a really smart businessman. So, you know, there's a bit of Fitty, there's a bit of Ice-T, but it's more Ice Cube. So he'll have a lot of dealings with Theo and TC. TC stands for the constellation Draco, because it's a real constellation, and I'm cool like that. Anyway, so yeah, so sometimes he'll work with TC, sometimes he'll work with Theo, sometimes they'll all work together. They all work for the Ministry of Souls, but sorry, I just got a message. So yeah, I don't have a name for him yet. I kind of have an idea of what he's going to look like, but he lives in just kind of like rural. He's just like a normal guy who lives in like a rural suburb who gets drawn into a lot because he gets called to investigate cases of the supernatural kind. So TC investigates crimes involved in the music and movie industry because he has fingers in both pies. You know, he's got his ear to the ground, so to speak. So he's great being undercover like that. And Theo is he's a grandson of Odin. Well, sorry, he's a grandson of Odin's wolves. You know, Freki and Jerry, because he is from the Wolf King bloodline. He has an encounter in a story from a radio series in the Soul Collector series for the radio with Detective Ruby Corazon, who gets sent to him when he's investigating a human trafficking case, well, missing children case in 1930s Chicago. And I had to do it like that because it gives me the opportunity to bring in Al Capone and, you know, like the 1930s mafia syndicate, because I adore Al Capone. I adore him. He's somebody. If I could go back in time and meet him, I would. And I was in Chicago. My radio show was in Chicago, and I was originally talking to the people at the radio show that I was working at, WRMN 1410, about doing live radio investigations where I went to investigate places of paranormal activity in that, because I wanted the opportunity to go and do the St. Valentine's Day massacre stuff and see what I could see, and, you know, all of that. There's still buildings in Chicago with bullet holes in them where they had shootouts and stuff, and we were just starting to bring it up about, hey, why don't I take my sound guys and all that and do like live radio investigations where I go and do this, and people can call me to their house and that. We discussed it during my last show, which was my Halloween event. I got invited by the radio station to do their Halloween festival. At the radio station, they close off the street there in the Fox Valley, and they close off the street, and then they put on like a big Halloween festival with like bands playing, and they have like celebrities come down. But I was going to be teamed up with this guy, you know, Elvira from the 80s, and that how she had like her show where she did Halloween, you know, horror movies and that. There was a male version of her as well, and I was going to be teamed up with him. Um, and I was so excited to do it, but my ex-husband, Chris, sabotaged my career. He sabotaged it. They completely destroyed my radio career, but I'm going to have my own radio career, and I'll just do it all myself. But the thing is, I understand why it had to get cut short, because I wasn't a time jumper then. I wasn't an occult physicist. I didn't understand half of what I know now. So my shows would have been nowhere near as exciting as they will be when I do my own radio show and go out on the road with my own crew where we do these live radio investigations. And the reason what I'm going to do, I know I'm going off on a tangent, but this is all for a reason. What I'm going to do is I'm going to head out with my crew, and we're going to record me doing these investigations and putting them on the radio first and playing them on like a Saturday or Sunday night after we've done like the Quantum Menace series and like the Soul Collector series and that, because Saturday night radio is going to be for the men, right? So, I mean, I could do it Sunday night as well, put it on Sunday night, but anyway, play my investigations on radio first, because then you sit back, you hear everything that's going on, but you can't see it. It forces you to use your imagination. And that's important for me with my biorhythmics, when I can get people to use their imagination. And then a week later, we'll upload the actual video show, like the actual visual of it, like a week later. So you can compare the two, what you thought and what you see, and see how your mind interacts with like sound and vision. This is important, this is imperative, because with the time jumping detective, what I've decided is he's going to have a sidekick. And if you know the TV show Quantum Leap, you know, that Scott Bakula and Sam, and he worked with that guy Al, and Al had that computer thing called Ziggy. Technically, I quantum leap. Technically, I quantum leap. But I don't say I quantum leap because I don't want people in my generation to think that I do what Sam does, because I don't jump into their bodies and take over their bodies. I jump into their conscience and I can see through their eyes as an observer. Whereas Sam interacts and changes their faith and their karma, which you're not allowed to do at all. Like, you're not allowed to do that. It defies the laws of the universe. You're not allowed to interfere with other people's karma. So he interfered with their karma. And he had Ziggy to bring him back if anything went wrong. And Al watched over Ziggy. In real life, what actually happens is your conscience steps in. And if it gets bad enough, the council will step in and pull you out of it. And when you get pulled out of a leap, it is psychologically and physically very, very painful. So, but what I do is I quantum leap into the conscience of people from the past, which is what kind of Ruby can do. Although she goes after the people who hurt the victims, she's like a detective, a homicide detective for the Ministry of Souls, who goes back in time to investigate unsolved murders. And then she goes after the perpetrators, and then she, once she's judged them to be guilty, she eats their souls. She rips their hearts out. She rips their hearts out and eats their souls, and then, she rips their hearts out, eats their heart, but then sucks their essence out of their eyeball. So the Soul Collector series is not the sort of thing that you want children engaging in. But because it's like, think of Blade and all of that, right? Like, there's a lot of blood and gore. So she goes back in time to do unsolved murders. Well, my time jumping detective, what I do is I sit inside the minds of the victims of the past. And remember, a second ago was the past, so it could be current crimes that have just happened. That's still the past. If it's not present, it's the past. So I leap into, or time jump, I leap into the mind of the victim, and I see their story and what happened, and it helps me tell their story. It helps me solve crimes. It helps me tell their stories. I don't go where I'm not invited, though. You're not allowed to go where you're not invited. There are very strict rules in regards to what you're allowed access to and what you're allowed to do. And the second you try to interfere with someone's timeline or their karma, you get pulled out of it, and it's really painful. When I do it, I have to have absolute silence. I can't be around noise. And if I'm around noise, like when I'm out somewhere in public, when I've gone to my National Trust places and I saw King Charles II, and was it the second? That National Trust place and all of that, when I'm around noise like that, I've learned to shut it out, but I have to have people with me in case I get stuck, because you can get stuck and it's quite traumatizing. And then magnetism takes over and I have trouble walking. My boys and I always refer to it as my gravity issues because I'm stuck between existence and reality, and it has an effect on gravity. It has an effect on how you interact with gravity. So my boys were raised knowing what to do if that happened. So whoever I make these shows with, I'm going to have to show them what to do should that ever happen, because it can take me a couple of days to get over it's like a shock to the system. It's like you're in the slipstream of time, and then someone comes along with those paddles that you get, when your heart stops, and shocks you out of it, and it throws you out of it in such a way that it affects your body, and it messes with your head, because you're being pulled by a thread that gets cut off consciously, which affects you subconsciously, because you're so intent on documenting and observing everything and remembering everything for the purpose of my science, to document my science, that when it gets cut off like that, before you've had a chance to complete the jump and read all the codes that are put inside the phases, in the atmosphere, it's like a real shock to the system, and it leaves you quite psychologically discombobulated. So the Ziggy part of Quantum Leap is kind of right. However, in reality, you're not actually allowed to interfere with people's karma. You're not allowed to interfere with their lives. So where Sam was jumping into their bodies and taking over their lives to recorrect things in their life, you're not actually allowed to do that. You're only allowed to observe. We're only allowed to be there to observe, to navigate, and to, navigate maybe is the wrong word. We're only allowed to observe and document for the purposes of navigating your own thread, your own timeline, because everything I document gets entered into my timeline. So you have to be in complete control. So with the time jumping detective, he's going to have a fob watch. And when he gets called to investigate cases, I've got 2 stories that I've written so far. Busybodies and the cookie cutter. I'm not going into anything because people steal my shit. So, but then what I'm thinking is in the 3rd series, or maybe at the end of the 2nd series, he's going to meet his companion. Remember, Doctor Who had a companion. Sherlock Holmes had Watson. Doctor Who had all of them, like Rose and Donna and all of that, but he's going to have a companion. And this companion is going to teleport. And he will have the ability to teleport, but he will do it energetically, like through the fob watch. He'll teleport through the fob watch. He won't necessarily be physically doing investigations with my guy. But he will be his companion. Sometimes they'll do physical ones together, but when my guy is out, like, doing other things, investigating supernatural things, sometimes his friend will teleport and say, or, be his pair of eyes, like, I need you to watch my back while I do this and do that, and he'll teleport through the fob, and, he'll be there and yada blah. So then that gave me the idea to write the 3rd series, the 3rd episode. I'm going to call it Jumping Windows. Where he's, got to jump through windows in order to solve the crime. So yeah, I got inspired by it. I've been thinking about it. I don't know what to call him. I kind of maybe want to give him a reference to either like Sherlock Holmes, or call him Holmes or Mr. Holmes or Mr. Sherlock. But I think there's already been other series like that. But yeah, I haven't thought of his name. But when I think of his name and the name of his companion, I'll let you know. Needs to be something cool though. So yeah, it's basically, I've written a whole series of things to appeal to men. I'm going to need a lot of voice actors, male voice actors. And for the TV series, obviously, I'm going to need a black guy to play TC Jaco, because we're all inclusive. We're going to have, especially for the Art of Creation, because TC will be in the Art of Creation as well. So he'll have to be an actor and a voice actor. But I'll have people from all walks of life. I'll need, like, Arabs and Asians and all sorts. It's like we're going to be a melting pot. I'm an equal opportunities, but no DEI. So yeah, so I wanted to put that out there. The time jumping detective, technically quantum leaping, but yeah, if you're kind of from my generation, if I say I quantum leap, it's going to give everyone the wrong idea. So I just say I time jump. I jump. I jump windows. I jump through windows. Um, so yeah, it's going to require kind of more. Well, think of Doctor Who in the 60s and 70s. We're going to be relying more on props and costumes and that more than um, CGI and graphics. But there will be some graphics in there. There'll be some blue screen stuff. He will go to other planets but he'll do it through his fob watch. Wherever there is time, there is the detective. Have time will travel, or have time will jump. So yeah. So I just wanted to put that out there while I'm having my coffee. I need to come up with good names for him and his companion. But it opens me up to write like all new series and episodes and that of involving other characters that work for the Ministry of Souls. Like he'll be able to have episodes. They'll all be able to be in each other's episodes, is what I'm saying, because they all work for the Ministry of Souls. So I need a Theo Lazarus, who I'm hoping can be like Norse or Scandinavian, like Viking blood, because of Odin. So he needs to basically have pagan roots. And obviously TC is black, preferably African American, but I don't know how many African Americans will be living in and around Switzerland, but you never know. You never know. Otherwise, I could maybe make him British. I don't know. When the auditions go out, when the auditions go out, when I go out, to do my Talent's Got the Idol Factor, and I'm looking for my talent, they'll be able to go online when I go to the radio stations and TV shows and say, hey, look, I'm doing these auditions, I'm building the school, yada, blah, blah, blah. Here's the website, here's the web address, go. And if you think you can do these voices, I'm not looking for people who are professionals. I'm not looking for people who are signed up to anyone. I'm looking for everyday people, like bringing everybody in to be a part of it, to be supportive of the children, and just to have fun and to let adults just like let it all go. Because I keep saying there'll be people that work in kebab shops and supermarkets and that will have incredible voices that they think are silly, but will end up being put in video games that will make them a lot of money and will get them a lot of respect from the people that play their video games, that play our video games, or that do voices for our cartoons and that. So these are the people that I want, and they'll be able to go to the website and they'll be able to look at the list of characters and say, we're looking for people who can do the voices of kids for the Superhero Toy League, this video game, that radio show, blah, blah, blah. And this is the person and this is their backstory. So, yeah. Oh, I'm a black British guy. I can do the voice of TC Draco. Hey, I'm an African American living in Germany. I can do the voice of TC Draco. Do you know what I mean? So if they're out there, then yeah. Otherwise, yeah, if I have to go abroad to advertise it, then so be it. But the whole point is that it's because remember the ancient prophecy, the white buffalo calf woman, and the ancient prophecy about the woman from the islands in bare feet bringing the four corners of the globe together. That's why I can't have an Asian guy play TC Draco, but he can play my. I need an Asian guy for the art of creation, because he's going to be my political analyst, my political, he comments on political events and anything to do with finance and politics. He's going to be Asian. I called him Naveed, but that's not a name that I actually want to give him. I just named him after that because of a comedy show in Scotland that I really like. But it's a name for now, but it's not going to be his real name. So yeah, that's it really. I had to put it out there. So yeah, I can't wait to go to Switzerland. I really can't. It's just gonna be me, but it won't be just me for very long. I can't wait. I can't wait. I've got so many things to do with my radio station and so many shows to make, and just, oh my God, I can't wait. My talent's got the Idol Factor one will go up. So what that means as well is that everyone will watch the show. Everyone will get to watch the auditions of me going all around Europe, basically, looking for the perfect talent for what I'm looking for. And it'll go up, and then it's like people are going to see the start of everything. Then when the games and movies and TV shows and that come out, they'll be able to go, oh my God, I remember his audition. Oh my God, do you remember when she did that audition? And now look, she now look, oh, that's Miss Jodine. Do you remember when Debbie went to France or wherever and blah? Look, oh my God, look, that's Miss Jodine. We saw her audition. Do you see what I mean? So yes, I can't wait. It's like, come on, Lord, get me out of here, please. I'm just, oh my God, I'm so ready to go. I just want to pack everything up. I'm so close to just wanting to get packing boxes and pack everything up and get rid of everything and basically just live in the bare bones of this flat, because I feel like I'm at the starting gate and I'm waiting for the, like the racehorse. I'm at the starting gate and I'm waiting for the gate to go up. So I'm off. So yeah, doing it all on my own. Like I got to be honest and say I'm very proud of myself. And whereas usually I would be scared, I'm not, because one thing, being married to Martin, living in New York, he helped me get over my agoraphobia and my fear of doing stuff on my own. My ex-husband used to make out like I was useless and couldn't do anything, and yet he didn't tell people that I got my ass all around America by myself, just making contacts and networking with people by myself with agoraphobia. And I killed myself. Here I was with my suitcase, walking in the rain to go to a out-of-state New York prison to go and visit my husband, fiance back then, because I haven't seen him since my wedding day. And yeah, by myself. And staying in a town where they had no taxis, no Uber, no nothing. And I did it all by myself. I've seen 23 states. I've been around 23 states in America. I've been to Canada, Ontario, Ontario, went to Toronto and all of that. So all by myself, just networking with people, meeting the right people, all by myself. I've seen Iceland, been to Paris, I've been to Italy. I've had 21 flights between New Zealand and the UK in total. There and back, between was it 21? No, hang on, I think it's 11. What am I saying, 21? I think it's 21 flights in total, in my life. But anyway, and I plan to do more, but all by myself. So I'm going to go to Japan. I'll take a team of people to look for my Japanese animators and voice actors when I do Yata no Kagami. All by myself. Like I'm not even scared anymore, because my two useless ex-husbands who left me for pedophiles and helped start a war in Iran to protect pedophiles taught me to stand on my own 2 feet, taught me to rely on myself, taught me how to be independent, taught me I didn't need a man. So while they're left to deal with the fallout of what they've done with an international pedophile ring and sex fetish cult, I'm off building this empire where I get to turn my entire life experience into entertainment. And my Saturday nights are going to be for men. They can sit around their radios, dads, granddads, nephews, sons, and we're going to have real sound effects, like the proper sound effects. When Gabriel and I were writing the Quantum Menace sagas, we had to make a point of making sure that, you know, when we brought in World War II aeroplane sounds and that the sounds of the planes matched the real ones, because Gabriel was saying, like, we can't have, like, if it's going to be a mosquito, we can't have it sounding like a, what did you say? If we're going to use mosquitoes, we can't make them sound like Spitfires, because if there's anyone listening who was in the war or who knows planes, they'll complain and say that's not a mosquito, that's a Spitfire. We spent weeks finding the perfect plane to pull off this manoeuvre in one of my stories for the radio. So we're going to need German speakers, we're going to need Polish speakers, we're going to need friggin' French speakers to do all the voice acting and that. I want everything as authentic as possible, so that when they listen to one of my episodes, like the one where she's working with RAF Ashbourne to do that whole false flag Hindenburg thing, everything's authentic, everything has to be authentic. I want them to be able to close their eyes and picture just picture it. I can't wait. Hurry up, Lord, get me out of here, please. Get me out of here. I don't need any. I didn't need a man after all. I didn't need them. Didn't need them. They weren't visionaries. They weren't people who could see my vision, because they all knew that once it became about me, it was never going to be about them ever again. And these were men who needed the attention. They needed people to worship and adore them. The flying monkeys. So, which I'm turning into a thing, but yeah, well, we won't go there. So yeah, oh my God, I'm so excited. I can't wait. I can't wait to see it all. Lights, camera, action. In 3, 2, 1, go. I can't wait. Bringing the world together for the sake of the kids. Just adults and just normal, average, everyday people coming together to encourage the kids at my school. You're doing great. We're behind you. We're supporting you. We're in this together. Build a new world for the next generation, and I can't wait. Just come on, Lord, get me out of here. Get me justice, get me my money, get me my visa, get me out of here. I've already got it planned. I can have everything packed up. I'll need to get a lawyer and a cop to help me go round to the dungeon so I can get my stuff from the dungeon, get my keys and that back off my boys, hand them a notice, pack everything up, get a bin, chuck everything that I'm not taking or that is a bit, not worth donating and that. Chuck it in the bin. I can have it all packed and ready to go in 4 weeks. Book myself a hotel in Zurich. I can be in Zurich in 2 hours from Manchester. Stay in a hotel for a month until I can find a place of my own. Move in, because then it'll give me time to get everything I need. But you can rent places in Switzerland that are furnished, which I might do because, I might do. For now, I might have to. It just depends on how attached I am to wanting to have my own stuff. But the whole point is that when I buy the place that I want to turn into my foundation, I might just move in there and live there while it's being done up until we're ready to open the gates. And then I'll build my homestead at the back. And then I'll move into that, and that's when I'll get my own furniture and make it my home. But yeah, so that's the plan for now. I've got it all planned out. I'm just waiting for the green lights. Bam, 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 off. Off like a racehorse. I'm heading out and I'm not looking back. Oh, I'm so excited. Ever since I decided Switzerland, ever since Switzerland fell into my heart and filled up that missing piece of the puzzle, it's like it's all I can see. It's all I'm focused on. And Amber's there on my phone, and she's do it, just do it. So I am just by myself. Like I don't even care that it's going to be just me. I just don't care because I know what I'm building, and I just can't wait to start building it. And I know that God's going to bring me the right people. Because if they tried to screw with me, I'll destroy them like I'm doing with Donald Trump and Elon Musk and all of that anyway. So I'm not the person they'd want to cross. Everyone finds out the hard way. I'm not the one to screw over. I might look all peaceful but they don't know who I have standing beside me. They can't see them. I can, because I'm the time jumping detective. My character's going to be a boy though. So a man. I'll come up with the names. I will. So I'm going to go and finish my coffee. I shall speak to you later. Have a beautiful day. Ka kite anō.